So this one is our third session on vector differentiation. Now, whatever we are going to start from this third session, these topics are the most important topics of your syllabus. So, three articles that you are going to learn now: gradient, divergence, and curl. So, majority of the times, all the questions of vector are coming from these three articles only. Today we are going to start one of the first article from that is gradient. Okay, but before that let me see what is the meaning of geometrical meaning of this partial differentiation, and then we'll see what is this vector operator del. Okay, so we'll see that one by one. Yes, anyone, what is a partial derivative? What is a geometrical meaning of a partial derivative? Anyone knows this?
It gives tangent possibly.
Yeah, yes, although derivatives gives us a tangent, but what is the particular thing about that tangent? If we say partial differentiation dou f by dou x, what will it represent? Dou f by dou x.
The slope of the graph along x.
Tangent along
Yes,
x-axis.
when you cut the graph along x-axis, okay, or we'll say dou f by dou x is actually when you cut the surface in xz plane. If you take a cross section of that surface in xz plane, then you will get the curve, and it is the slope of that tangent along that x-axis. Okay, dou f by dou y is obviously the slope of a tangent along y-axis there. So dou f by dou y is the slope of a tangent to the curve along y-axis for that surface. So that way, actually, the geometrical meaning is there for partial differentiation. Now, let I draw here a small equation or some function. If we take, so let I take f is equal to, let the function f is x square y and z. The function is x square yz is equal to 0 or is equal to some constant. Okay, it doesn't matter right now. So suppose this is the function that we have. Now one of the first important thing is, if we want the derivative of f, if we want the derivative of this function f along x-axis, we say that is a dou f by dou x. Okay, this is a dou f by dou x, and this is known as a derivative of the function f along x-axis, and you will get it like a 2x yz. Okay, similarly, if you want the derivative of this function f along y axis, so we say dou f by dou y, and we get at x square z. And same thing we can get dou f by dou z also, like x square y. So right now, these dou f by dou x and dou f by dou y are known as the differentiation of the function along x-axis and along y-axis there. Okay, so we are differentiating that function. We are finding the rate of change of the function along x-axis and the rate of change of the function along y-axis there. So we are differentiating these functions in some particular direction only. That is the partial differentiations there. If you want the partial derivative at one particular point, say 1, 1, 1, yes, we can replace this xyz by 1, 1, 1, and we get dou f by dou x at 1, 1, 1 is 2, while dou f by dou y at 1, 1, 1 is 1. Okay, we can say the rate of change of that function along x-axis is a 2, while rate of change of the function f along y-axis is a 1 at the point 1, 1, 1. Okay, so that way we interpret these results. So first we get a general differentiation, then we can get this differentiation at particular points also. But now the question is, if we are not interested to find the rate of change of the function along only x-axis or y-axis, if I am interested to get what is the rate of change of this function along some random direction. Okay, some random direction. For example, what is the rate of change of the function along the direction, say 1, 1, 1, along the point 1, 1, 1, or along I plus j plus k? Are you getting my question? So in such a case, the concept of this vector operator occurs there, or this vector differentiation is coming in picture. First of all, we have the now vector operator. It is denoted by this Greek symbol. The symbol is a del. Okay, this is the actually used for backward difference operator. So use a backward triangle. Okay, you see the base is on the top. some of the students use this symbol for del operator, and that is not correct. This is not correct, remember. So fx is on the down and base is on the top there, so it is like a del operator. This is the Greek symbol, and it is given by I times dou by dou x plus j times dou by dou y plus k times dou by dou z, and this vector is actually a vector operator because it involves the partial differentiations. So this is our vector operator now. This vector operator is useful for us now to find the rate of change of a function in any random direction. Okay, in any random direction. We are not necessarily we calculate only dou f by dou x or dou f by dou y. Means not necessarily we calculate derivative along x or y axis only. We can find out the derivatives in any random direction. We'll come to that right now only. Okay. Before that, yes, this del is a differential operator, so it satisfies all the properties of a derivative only. That derivative of addition is the addition of their derivatives. Derivative of subtraction is the subtraction of their derivatives. The product rule of differentiation, del uv is first into derivative of second plus second into derivative of first. It is like a product rule. And lastly, we have the quotient rule here. So del is a differential operator and it follows all the properties of derivative as it is there. Now, one standard example of a scalar function is a temperature. Okay, temperature is one of the scalar function because temperature have only the magnitude. Temperature does not have a direction. Suppose for simplicity, let I say this is x-axis, this one is y-axis, and this one is z-axis. And right now I am taking the same function. This one, say this is our temperature function. Temperature at any point xyz, temperature at any point xyz in the space is given by say x square yz, same function I am taken here. So this is some mathematical form of a temperature we are given, and it is given in the space. If we want the temperature at any point, we can get it by this function. For example, temperature at 0, temperature at origin is a 0 only, so here we have 0 temperature. Then it is so obvious from this function we can observe when we move along x-axis, when we move away on x-axis, this side, there is a very higher temperature. There is very higher temperature, while here is a very lesser temperature like this, and then the frequency goes on increasing. Okay, and then later on it's very high temperature. You'll observe the temperature on this side. On this side is a very high temperature, and here is a low temperature, high temperature. It is just I am telling with respect to the first quadrant only, or sorry, first octant only. So that is a temperature distribution on this in the space here. Right now I just shown the temperature distribution in xy plane only, but you will assume the same block is along z-axis also. Along means at this side along on the top of y-axis there along z-axis the same temperature you will observe, because there x is a 0, so you may doesn't have the temperature at that vertical plane, yz plane. On yz plane I think the temperature is a 0 because the equation of yz plane is x is a 0. So if x is 0 here, the temperature is a 0 in a yz plane, is that? And if you come parallel to the yz plane, along x-axis, the temperature goes on increasing. So that about one of the example of scalar function. Now our aim is to find the rate of change of temperature along different direction. So if you are interested, what is the rate of change of a temperature along y-axis, you can calculate dou t by dou y. Okay, you can calculate dou t by dou y, and we'll observe dou t by dou y is coming as x square z. Dou t by dou y is x square z. Now it is again at which point? Suppose this is dou t by dou y, which is x square z. Suppose we are calculating rate of change of this function at point 11. Say okay, you can take any point there other than the 0. So let us say 1, 2, 3. If you take 1, 2, 3, then you will get corresponding rate of change that way. Similarly, you can calculate dou t by dou x. Now come to the main point, the last thing. We are not interested to find the rate of change of temperature. Can anyone tell me first of all what is the rate of change along z-axis?
X square y.
It's a square
x
y.
square y, correct. Okay, x square y is the rate of change of temperature, x square y. Okay, now I'm interested, what is the rate of change of a temperature along the direction, say along the direction of the vector. I will take one point in the space. I'm taking, say, 1 2 3. I'm taken 1 2 3 as a point in the space, and now I want a rate of change of this temperature along this direction. If we move the direction at 1 2 3 direction, that means I plus 2j plus 3k. Instead of I'm saying rate of change along I cap only, or rate of change along j cap only, or k cap, means along xyz axis. Instead of that, we are now interested to get the rate of change of the function, the change in the function along a random direction. Along a random direction, the direction, let I assume here, is this one. So generally we give this as a bar. Let us say this a bar. And now how to get that rate of change of the temperature?
6i cap, 3j cap, 2k cap.
How you calculated that?
Dou x by dou y, dou
Dou t
t
by
by dou
dou
y,
x.
and all are given. So I just put that I cap, j
Calculate.
cap, and k cap direction vector in that.
Okay, that is not actually the correct here. So the way we get it, actually, the first thing we should calculate we should operate this del operator. This del operator come picture here. So we should calculate del t. Now this vector is a very important vector for us. Right now, this del t vector means this del t is we can read like gradient of t. The name is given as a gradient. Gradient of t or del t. This vector is calculated like this: dou t by dou x I cap plus dou t by dou y j cap plus dou t by dou z k cap. I will repeat. It is a del t is a vector dou t by dou x I plus dou t by dou y j plus dou t by dou z k. Now, if we are interested, now this vector, this gradient vector, del t vector, is known as a directional derivative. It is a directional derivative. Now, this direction is a fixed. We can fix that direction provided we take projection of this vector. We take projection of this del t vector. For example, what is the projection of a del t along x-axis? Yes, anyone? What is the projection of this del t vector along x-axis?
So dou t by dou x.
Yes, very good, correct. Because if you want the projection of del t vector along x-axis, we should take del t dot I cap, because we have to take a dot product of this del t vector with a unit vector on x-axis there. So del t dot I cap will get as a dou t by dou x only. So if we want the directional derivative, or the derivative of the function t along x-axis, we take del t dot I cap. Similarly, if we want the derivative of t along y-axis, we take del t dot j cap. Now, if we want this along a bar, if you want the derivative of del t along a bar, what should be done? We have to take the projection of this del t vector, along a bar. So del t dot a bar upon magnitude of a bar, or del t dot a cap, is the known as the derivative of the function t, along the direction a bar, or it is the rate of change of the function, t along the direction a bar, Is that clear first? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, very good. So let me come.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's clear. So let me come to the most important thing where you should focus. Which are the things now you have to remember for this gradient article? Let me come to that part. So just I will change a slide here. So this is the first thing that we should know. We suppose we have some scalar function. The scalar function is like a temperature. We already seen. So phi is some scalar function. Then del phi is known as a gradient of phi. These are the notations which are used: grad phi, del phi, and it is given by this formula: I times dou phi by dou x plus j times dou phi by dou y plus k times dou phi by dou. This is the most important thing you should remember first. It's a definition. This definition is the most important thing that you have to remember first. Next important thing, yes, gradient is a vector quantity because it involves I, j, k there. As I, j, k's are present, it's a vector quantity. As it is a vector, it have a direction. So what about this direction? The direction of a gradient is always along normal to the surface. Let me come to that. Suppose our surface is xy plane. What is the equation of xy plane? What is the
Z
equation
is
of
equals to 0.
it's
Z is
written
equal to
here.
0.
Okay, so right now we have the surface equation as a z equal to 0, that is xy plane. Phi is equal to z, z equal to 0. Now tell me what is the del phi? Dou phi by dou x. What is the dou phi by dou x here?
0.
0, because
0.
phi is a z only, na? So dou phi by dou x or dou z by, because when we say phi is a function of x, y, z and we have to differentiate partially with x, z is like a constant. So it's a 0 I cap. What is the dou phi by dou y?
0 Jacob.
0.
And what about dou phi by dou z?
1.
1.
So what we get? Del phi as a k cap. So what is the meaning? In this case, del phi become a constant vector, that is k cap. It is not depending on x, y, z. Means take any point of that surface. Take any point on the surface. Del phi direction is a k cap. Del phi direction is k cap. For example, at this point you will observe this is del phi direction. At this point, this is the direction of del phi. At this point, the direction of del phi is like this. So every time the direction is parallel to z axis only. It's parallel to this is at this
It should be, so it could be minus k cap as well, no? That is also perpendicular.
not correct right now. If you observe here, the surface equation is z equal to 0. Z is a positive, na? So del phi is plus k only.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So plus k only, not minus k. So this direction is given by the surface equation only. So either it is a plus k or minus k, it is depend. So if you are given surface equation is minus z equal to 0. Okay, but actually minus z equal to 0 or z equal to 0 matter the same. So we get only the normal vector there. Okay. So only one thing I want to tell you here. Right now, as this surface is a flat surface, it is just a flat surface xy plane. So del phi is always along z axis there. It is along z only. If we have curved surface like this, this del phi vector will be perpendicular to that surface at that point. It is normal to that surface at that point. Okay, you can take equation of sphere, okay, or cone, and you can cross check also if you want. You will get that they are the normal there. They are perpendicular to the tangent, at that point. So in this case, the direction of del phi will not be a constant. It depends on x, y, z. You may get like x square I cap plus j cap minus z k cap, something like that you may get it. So it may depend on either x, y, z, or it may be a constant depending on the surface. Yes, del phi will be a constant provided it is a plane surface only. So the first thing, the definition, this is important. Next, the direction of del phi is always perpendicular to the surface. That is the second thing which is important. And now the third definition we already seen on the last slide, that if you want to find the derivative of the function phi along a bar, that means if you want to find the rate of change of this function phi along any random direction a bar, we take del phi dot a bar upon magnitude of a bar, that is a, that is del phi dot a cap. This is del phi dot a cap is written there, and the meaning of that is it is del phi dot a bar upon magnitude of a. That is a derivative there. And the last step, and the last thing, in which direction we get maximum rate of change of that function. In which direction we should have the maximum rate of change of the function. Yes, anyone? Yes, some of you may think it is on the screen, so why should I tell? Yes, if you want the maximum rate of change of the function, then it will be along normal to the surface. It will be along normal to the surface. Let me come to the same example of temperature.
Sir, I can't imagine this thing ki rate of change is maximum along normal. कैसे मतलब?
Okay, yes, that only I want to tell you. Suppose this xy plane is heated plane. Okay, suppose this is the heated plane there. So this is some surface, surface equation, that is z equal to 0. Okay, and this is a heated plane. Now if you move along that xy plane only, if you move along that xy plane only, what happens? The rate of change of the temperature will be there. Okay, will be there, but the maximum change in temperature, it is possible only when we are going to move from that surface along normal direction, along normal direction. Is that because right now you are taking layer by layer of that space. In the space, just we are focusing on one surface z equal to 0, and suppose on that surface we have something like a temperature. It is like a temperature there, so it is there, the surface is heated there and it has some temperature. So we can move from maximum temperature to the minimum temperature quickly, provided we move along normal, to that surface. And because of that, generally the maximum rate of change we always get along normal to the surface only for that scalar function. Right now the problem is we don't know what that phi represents. So if we know the phi, what phi represents, then we can interpret like, just I given one example of a temperature here. So if that scalar function is a temperature, we can say there is a maximum change in temperature for the surface is observed along normal to that surface, whatever that surface we have. So right now, suppose this curved surface is, suppose again, a heated surface. Suppose this is also the heated surface. That time also the maximum change in temperature, provided the surfaces represents a temperature, then this del T is a direction in which there is a maximum change in temperature. This is the maximum change in temperature there. Okay, is that clear?
Can you explain some GeoGebra, for example, so that
No, on GeoGebra actually, on GeoGebra you have only the surface shown like this only. So when I plot the surface, GeoGebra will show this one, this surface only, nothing else. Actually, the problem with GeoGebra is there. Actually, this gradient, why the name is gradient given first? The name gradient is given because it is used to calculate the slope of that surface, and we know the slope is taken along a tangent. Okay, this tangent to this curve, this gives you a slope, but del phi directly doesn't give us a slope there. So actually it can be used to calculate the slope of the surface. Because of that, because if we know the normal vector, then also we can find the slope of that surface, and so the name is given as a gradient. And if you use a GeoGebra not showing these del phi vectors there. What GeoGebra shows? GeoGebra shows these tangents there, so that it gives you actually there is a very big use of this del phi in optimization technique, and that is for gradient descent method, something, that name of the method is there. And this method is used to find out maxima and minima of the surfaces, there. And okay, we'll not go in the detail because that's not required. Let
So
I
can you explain this how the means the point C, sir, like maximum in its own direction, sir?
Because what is the rate of what is the rate of change? Actually, we just said here, this directional derivative of a function phi is a del phi. This del phi vector is known as a rate of change of the function phi. Now if we want the rate of change of the function phi along a bar, we take del phi dot a bar upon a. Means what happens here, we are taking magnitude of a magnitude of del phi along some direction. So magnitude is always lesser than its own magnitude now. So if you want del phi should be a maximum, we should take projection of a del phi along del phi only. So it is a mod del phi. So every vector is a maximum along its own direction. Is that every vector is a
Yes, sir, got it, sir. Yes, sir.
along
Now,
on its own direction. So when I say del phi is like a rate of change of this function phi. And if you want the rate of change of function phi along a bar, we take a projection. And if you want maximum rate of change, so we should go along its own direction. Then only you get its whole magnitude. That's one only. Okay, I will sum up it now. The three things you should remember for the identification of the problem on gradient. The question will be on gradient if in the question it is asked find a gradient. Okay, straightforward. First find the gradient of phi. Sometimes the question will be find del phi. Okay, so this is the first thing. The question is straightforward, where it is written find grad phi or del phi, so it is on gradient. Next, if the question says find directional derivative, find the directional derivative, then also we have to calculate del phi only. Okay, third, because del phi is nothing but it is a directional derivative or it is a rate of change of function phi. And the last thing, third thing, if the question comes find a normal vector to the surface, normal vector to the surface, then also we have to calculate del phi only. So there are three parallel words that come in the exam. Find the gradient of the function phi, find the directional derivative of the function phi, or find a normal vector to the surface phi. Then also we have to do the same thing, that is a del phi there. Okay, so this is the most important thing that you have, these three things. You should focus on this. That will be very, very useful in solving the example now. Okay, we'll see the question now, which type of the questions are coming in the exam. So we'll come to that. So the question number 1 is here on the screen. The question is find a unit normal vector to the surface at the point 2, 0, 1. So you should tell me what should be the first step.
So directional derivative first.
Okay, first let I assume this function is a phi there. So give some notation there. And remember, all the functions we should write like this. Function of xyz equal to constant. So only RHS can be a constant. RHS can be a constant, but RHS never a variable. So function of xyz equal to constant. That way we should write a surface. So this is our surface equation. We want normal vector to the surface. So therefore, del phi. Just start del phi because we know del phi is a gradient, del phi is a normal vector, and del phi is a directional derivative also. It is same. So by definition, the formula says it is a dou phi by dou xi plus dou phi by dou yj plus dou phi by dou zk. Now tell me what is the dou phi by dou x? Yeah.
So it is 2xi cap
Okay, correct.
plus
6
6y
j cap.
j
Very
cap
good.
J cap.
And
plus
4z
4z
k
k
cap.
cap.
yes, very good. Remember, in vector calculus, your derivatives formula is required. Very simple formula. Hardly you will require derivative of algebraic function, trigonometric function, and exponential function. Not more than that. Algebraic, trigonometric, and exponential. 3 function derivatives we require here only. But concepts are very important. If you understand, then you can do it very easily. The first thing, whatever we calculate del phi, this is actually normal vector to the surface at any point xyz. Okay, this is general normal vector. But here the question is we want the normal vector at that particular point. So step 2, we should say at 2, 0, 1. So we are calculating this gradient vector at a particular point, and we get del phi as 4i cap. So obviously this is going 0 and 4k cap.
0 j cap.
Correct.
4k cap.
Now the second step we are getting here a directional derivative. Sorry, not directional, normal vector at a particular point 2, 0. And lastly, we want this unit also. Therefore, unit normal vector. Yes, the answer should be, we should divide by its own magnitude, no? Del phi upon mod del phi. And we should have that required answer, I plus k upon root 2. I'm written directly, you can say 16 plus 16, that is 4i plus 4k upon root 32. 4i plus 4k upon root 32, and simplified it, we get this as answer. If any doubt is there, yes, you can ask. So this type of the question, mainly unit normal vector, near about in every question paper you will find for 2 marks. Okay, many question papers, the question is asked for find a unit normal vector to the surface at particular point, and that question is asked for the 2 marks there. So once you finish, tell me. We'll do the next example.
Done.
Done?
Done, sir.
Done, sir. Done, sir.
Very good.
Wait 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, just 1 minute. I will wait. No issue.
So there is some bit of network
Pardon?
issues, I guess.
Yes.
I'm
Any
not able to
problem
hear
there? So can we move to the next question then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
No, sir.
So question number 2 here.
No, sir. I think I was having some disturbance. Now it's fine.
Okay, no issue. The question number 2, you'll observe the wording is changed. Remember, in many of these questions of gradient, the wordings will be the different, but you have to do the same question. See, the question is find the directional derivative at 1 minus 1, 1. And if the question is find a normal vector to this function phi at 1 minus 1, 1, then also we'll do the same calculation actually. Okay, so even the wording is different, the meaning is the same actually. These are parallel words. So the first thing, the question is for directional derivative. That means we have to calculate del phi. Del phi is a directional derivative. So I will say del phi equal to, I'm not writing a formula here. So tell me, what is the dou phi by dou x?
So
Y square.
Correct. Y square I cap. What is the dou phi by dou y?
Z square
Z
J cap.
square. Z
X,
square.
Y plus
Z
Z
square J cap.
Not correct. So this is the problem that you should
2x
differentiate entire function.
2xy
2xy plus z square.
plus Z square.
This is a silly mistakes many times happen. Sometimes you forgot to differentiate. You thought you differentiated this term here. No, you don't have to differentiate it, but you have to differentiate entire function phi there. Plus
2ZY.
2zy. Okay.
2yz. Oh, correct. 2yz k cap. Yes, correct. Now this is this del phi vector. What is this meaning of this del phi vector? This del phi vector is known as a directional derivative of function phi at any point xyz, or this normal vector to the surface at any point xyz. Okay, so these are the meaning for the same calculation, but right now we want that at a particular point here. So we'll say at 1 minus 1 1. So tell me what will be the value of del phi.
1 I cap
Okay, 1 I cap, correct. Minus 2 plus 1,
minus 1 J cap
correct.
and minus 2 K cap.
Correct, very good. So the next step we got, this is the directional derivative or the rate of change of this function phi at a point 1 minus 1 1. But we want this rate of change of this function or this directional derivative along this direction, So what we should do? Let first we assume that as some direction. Let b bar is that direction, which is I plus 2j plus k. Therefore, the last step is left now. We want this directional derivative. Therefore, directional derivative of a phi along the vector b bar is equal to del phi. We just take a projection. It is just a projection of a del phi along that b bar. That's one. Now take a dot product. How to take dot product? A1 b1 plus a2 b2 plus a3 b3. So 1 into 1 is 1. 2 into minus 1 is minus 2. And 1 into minus 2 divided by magnitude of b bar, which is
Root over
square.
X.
Yes, any problem? The answer is coming minus 3 by root 6. No. Yes, minus 3 upon root 6. And that is the answer. So this is the directional derivative.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So questions are really simple. Only you have to go step by step there. So we'll do one more last example after this. So once you finish, tell me.
Done, sir.
Done, sir. Done.
Done, sir.
Okay. Okay, very good.
Just a second, sir.
Just a second.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. Tell me once you finish. Yeah. So you will observe this question is already asked in 2017 two times actually, in December exam as well as in June exam. And you see the funny thing, at one place the same question is asked for 3 mark, and at one place it is asked for the 7 mark. So it depends on examiner or the paper setter who said that. So whatever, but there is nothing like if this question comes for 7 mark, you have to write very big things like that. The same calculation you can write it for 3 marks as well as for 7 marks, because you've done everything. Only here one thing is missing at the beginning. You should start with the del phi definition. Del phi equal to dou phi by dou xi plus dou phi by dou yj plus dou phi by dou zk. So that only one step is missing. Otherwise, each and every step is on the screen here. That is enough to get full marks there. Okay. Okay, I hope all you finished now. So I will move to the last question here. Okay.
So sorry, sir.
Pardon?
Okay, nothing. Leave.
Okay, I erased now. Okay, yeah, sorry. Last question here. It is exactly similar. Okay. It is exactly similar to the previous. Tell me what should be the step? Step number 1.
Step number 1 is find
Find
del phi.
del f now. Okay, you see the notation. Okay, step 1 del f. Okay. Step 2.
Step 2 will be sir, at that point P
Correct.
will
At
find.
P1, 2, 3. Good. Now third step.
So third step, find PQ vector by Q minus P.
Very good. So we should calculate PQ bar, and we know the PQ bar as a Q bar minus P bar. We already seen this thing, I think, in is it in Velo? Okay, whatever that PQ bar, you should calculate it. And then next,
Then sir, that vector which we found at P dot PQ divided by mod of PQ.
correct, del F dot PQ bar divided by mod of PQ bar. So this gives us a directional derivative along PQ bar. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And what about the answer of this last part then?
Sir, it will be maximum in the direction of del F only.
Correct.
We will write del F
Last
only.
step, it will be along del F only. That's you should write. And you can write every vector is a maximum along its own direction. So it will be maximum along del F only. So these are the 5 steps and you get the required answers there. Yeah, you can finish it now. Let I write a first step here, or anyone can tell me. Step number 1, del F. What is it? Dou F by dou X?
2xi cap minus 2yj cap plus 4y cap 4zk cap.
4zk cap. So this is general directional derivative. Okay. Now at that particular point, what is the vector we get? At 1, 2, 3.
2i cap minus 4j cap
Correct.
plus 12k cap.
12k cap. That's the second step. Now we want PQ bar as a Q bar minus P bar. So here is a Q bar vector. So Q bar, I will write it here. Q bar is phi I plus 0j plus 4k. So this is the Q bar vector. Position vector of the point Q. Position vector of the point P is a P bar. And that P bar vector from here, it is I plus 2j plus 3k. And now we have to take Q minus P. Phi minus, so tell me what is the
4i cap minus 2j cap plus
okay.
1k.
Plus k cap. Very good.
Yes.
So this one, fourth step. Therefore, the fourth step will be like this: directional derivative of f along PQ bar, and that is this one. And this you will get it here. You have to take dot product of these two and divided by magnitude of PQ. So 2 into 4 is 8, minus 4 into minus 2 is again 8, plus 8 and plus 12. divided by square root of 16 plus 4 plus 1. And I think we get here 28 by root 21. That's the required. This is the directional derivative of the function f along PQ bar. And now lastly we have to say the directional derivative will be a maximum along del f only, and that is along 2i minus 4j plus 12k. That's one.